Good morning, everyone. So
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
yesterday we saw an introduction to the syllabus involved for this course. So before we delve into the actual syllabus content, that is the concepts of object-oriented programming in depth, what we will do is we will quickly see a short introduction to C++ in today's session, and from tomorrow onwards we'll start with the actual concepts. Because before we move to the, since C++ is a very it's a huge language with um, support for both procedural as well as object oriented paradigms. So that is why we need to know what are the subtle differences that it has with C, because we are already aware of the C language, and in C, moving from C to C++, there are some changes which we need to be aware of. Okay, so we'll talk about those slight differences today and see how to run basic C++ programs for today. So that's the agenda for today's session. Okay. So C++ was an extension to the C language to include object-oriented programming. It was, the founder is Jan Stroustrup. Okay, and there are different versions of C. Now you will C++ that you have. You will hear of different standards. Okay, C++ 11. It was revised. I mean, like C, it was revised. So you have C++ 11, C++ 14, C++ 17. 17 was the last revision. So some minute changes from version to version were made. Okay, and it is a very important language because it introduces object-oriented paradigms. I mean, it includes object-oriented paradigm. It allows you to code using an object-oriented terminology. Okay, and it has become a very, very important language for programmers because this language allows it finds itself in operating systems. You will see that most of the operating systems have been using C++ to actually make the operating system. So to create the operating system, C++ is used. Many application programs still rely on C++. So they have been coded using C++. Okay. Many GUIs make use of C++. Also, embedded systems, which is a combination of hardware and software, they make use of C++. So it's a very useful language and a powerful language, which is still being used in many of the application programs as well, and important from the industry point of view as well. And when we talk about ease of learning, okay, if a person knows the C language, it is easy to switch from C to C++. And if a person has knowledge of either C or C++, okay, C++, if you know, you can easily switch to Java. Okay, if you know C++ along with the O concepts, it is very easy to switch to Java, which you will be having later on in your in your post curriculum, somewhere around the 5th or 6th semester for your curriculum. So from C to C++, it's easy because the syntax is similar. All these three languages, the syntax that you see, the way we write the logical constructs, the way we write the conditions, the way we write the control structures, they are similar. The other differences are with respect to the additional features which are added by each language. So C is a very old language. After that, C++ came, followed by that. There were some disadvantages in C++ which were not useful for developing some sort of programs which were removed by Java. Okay, so that is the background of C++. So let us start with the syntax right away, because we need to get ourselves well versed with the syntax before we write any object oriented code. Okay, so everything is similar to C, only thing the kind of libraries that we have. So when we talk about the syntax, different libraries are used. Since it's a different language, the library names are different. Some functionality, new functionality is added. New features are added to the libraries which C++ provides. Okay, so let us write the first program, that is hello world, which we write in any language. So I will just type it here. So it begins with the header include statement. So hash include, C++ also has the hash include. Okay, now instead of the stdio.h file that is there in C, we have the iostream file. Okay, there is no .h here. In some versions of C, in the older versions of C++, there was a .h. After that, that .h was removed, and this file is now called iostream only. This iostream, again, it stands for input output stream. Okay, so the input and the output is treated as a stream of characters. Okay, so that is the idea. And you write your main function in this as well, as usual. Now, since we have to print hello world, we need a function for printing. That function in C is printf. But here we do not have that function. The functionality which is available in iostream is an object called cout. It's called cout. It stands for console out. Okay, so it stands for console out, and along with console out, you have this operator which is known as the insertion operator. So whatever is written to the right hand side of this insertion operator, these two angle brackets, okay, less than symbols, insertion operators together form the insertion operator. Whatever is written to the right hand side of this will be displayed on the console. So it console out whatever is there to the right hand side of the insertion operator. So I say hello. Hello world is a string. So I simply say hello world and put a semicolon. So all my statements, like in C, they end with a semicolon in C++. Okay. Now, if I write this, it is not sufficient in C++. If I just write this cout, okay, I need to include something which recognizes this cout. Cout is an object which has to be recognized. Okay, and for that we make use of what is known as a namespace. I will talk more about this a little later, but just remember, whenever you're writing any C++ program, you have to use, you want to write something on the screen, you want to read something from the screen, anything that you need to do, you need to include this namespace, standard namespace, using this syntax. The syntax is using namespace std, semicolon. So this standard namespace is included, and the cout object is present in the standard namespace. Okay, So you have to use this namespace, this statement whenever you're writing a C++ program. Now cout hello world is going to print hello world on the screen, on the console basically. This is one way of doing it. There is one more way. I will show it to you. First, let us run this. So simply cout. So these two statements are important. Hash include iostream and using namespace std. You use cout hello world. Cout is an object which resides in the standard std namespace. Now, why I'm saying resides, because I'm talking about the scope. The scope is very, very important as far as a C++ program is concerned. So whatever objects you're creating, now this is an object, remember, this is an object. Okay, cout is an object. Whatever objects you create are defined within some scope. The scope for this object is std. It's a standard scope. Okay, you can also create your own namespaces in C++. That is why I'll come back to namespaces later on. But for writing a simple C++ program, this has to be the standard that you need to use. Just remember this for now. Okay, so cout hello world will print hello world on the screen. Okay, so this is the output. You can see hello world is printed on the screen. Okay, now there is another way to do it. If I don't include the namespace, what I do is, let me comment it. So C++ style comments are single line comments. Okay, so it supports multi-line as well as single line comments. C also supports both in the later versions, right? So the same comments are used. If I don't use this, if I run this, if I want to run this, then I need to use standard here. I need to somehow tell that, look, to the compiler, that look, this cout object is from the standard namespace. So how do I do it? I do it using the scope resolution operator. So this is a new operator that you see, the scope resolution operator. This you'll be using in for writing many of the programs later on. So when we see, as we see the programs, you will understand the use. The scope resolution, it's telling, it's using standard scope. So it is telling the compiler that cout object belongs to the scope std, that is standard. Okay, so it's the scope that is standard followed by the scope resolution operator followed by cout. So now I don't need to include the namespace. Okay, so now if I compile and run this, see, I'm using the code blocks IDE. So it is running, it's still running, right? So only problem with this syntax is, if I have many cout statements in my program, then in that case, every time I have to write std : cout, std : cout. So my program, I will have to type that every time. So to reduce that effort, it's better to use this, using namespace std beforehand. Okay, so if you use this beforehand, then in that case, you don't need to use this. The program becomes easy to write. So you just write one statement at the beginning, and everywhere that you write cout, you can directly use cout. Okay. If now I want to print one more sentence after this, then I can simply print it. So it's not on a new line, right? Hello C++ is not on a new line. So if I want a new line, I can make use of the new line character that we have seen in C. The same thing we can use here. So I can use new line here. Okay. And run it. So I'll get things on a new line. One more thing that you can do is you can write multiple print outs at the same in the same cout. So I can say I can put one more insertion operator here, and I can write a space here, one more insertion operator here, and I can write something like some other word. Okay. So if I want to print multiple things together in the same cout, I can do this by using the insertion operator. This is the insertion operator multiple times. Okay. So the second line, what I've done is multiple insertion operators I have used. Any number of insertion operators you can use to print multiple things on the same using the same cout. Okay. So this, if you notice, is much faster than the C syntax, because in the C syntax you make use of the printf function. There you have to take care of the format specifiers. Here you do not need to specify the format specifiers as such. Okay. Now you have not seen the use of format specifier here because it's a hello world. But what if you have a variable? So for example, in case of a variable like x, I say int x equal to 5, say, and I want to print the value of x, then I need to use a format specifier there, right, in C. But in case of C++, I do not need to use that. I can simply print x. So I simply say x. So I give a space here. And I say x. Okay. One more thing that is introduced here is the endl operator. This endl is also, it stands for end line. So it will also introduce a new line. So it is similar to backslash n. So backslash n is already there in C. This endl is a new thing which is added in C++. Endl allows you to, it works the same as a new line. It leaves a new line whenever you write it with cout. So hello world, I'm printing the value of x, and then I'm printing endl. That is a new line. Okay. So let us save it, compile and run. So hello world, right? I've printed. Look at the cout and look at what is printed. Hello world is printed. Then a space is printed. Then x is printed, and then you have written x, that is 5. The value is 5, so 5 is printed. Then you have written endl. So the moment you say endl, what happens is cursor jumps to the next line, and whatever is mentioned here. So cout, again there's a cout. So hello C++ will come on the next line. Are you getting this? The basics? Any doubts?
Ma'am, how
Yes.
to compile on command prompt?
Yeah. I'll show that.
Okay, ma'am.
Let me open an editor. Okay. I'll just copy this code. So how are you saving your program as a .cpp file? I forgot to mention that. The extension for a C++ program is .cpp. Stands for C++. Okay. So to compile, you say G++. See, when you install MingW now, at that time your C++ also gets installed. Your C++ compiler also gets installed. So G++, and what is my file name? I simply say G++. So you, for C program, you are doing GCC, right? GCC file name .c. Now you will say G++ file name .cpp, and it's same. It's the same. Your a.exe is created here. It's Windows. So A, just run it. It's the same. It's similar or no to C. Only the command changes. MingW you have installed, so that also gets installed. The extension also gets installed. C++ extension. Fine? Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
If you are having any problems with the installation, or if it has not been installed, then do it again. And if I think if it requires a checkbox. If C++ was not ticked, just tick it back and install it again. It will work. Okay. And if there are still problems, we'll be tackling in the lab session. So whoever is having a problem, by screen sharing, we will tackle it. Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, here if we have defined some variable and we want to print that variable itself in the cout, so we have to use semicolon, na? Sorry, not semicolon.
I've printed.
Double inverted commas, na? Like if
No,
we
no,
want to
no,
print
no,
x,
no. I've printed X. See, I've printed X, right?
not the value, just the variable x.
Just the variable. Yeah, X if you want to print. Yes. It's same as C, na? In C also, whenever you want to print a value only, then you don't put that quotes. I mean, you
Okay,
put
ma'am.
the X outside, na? Put a comma in printf and write X there, and put %f or
Right, right.
%d wherever. The
Yes,
same, the
ma'am.
same.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
And
Hmm.
oh man, that end line that you have used here, is it
Hmm.
necessary?
If I don't write this, it will come on the same line. Na? Otherwise, I need to put this new line. I can put new line instead of this. Okay.
Okay, right.
If I put new line, it will work the same. Both are interchangeable. Yeah. Fine. So this is about output. What if you want to read something? If you want to read the value of X from the user. So for reading the value of X from the user, you need to make use of another object which is present in the standard namespace, and that is cin, console input. Okay, cin. Now this makes use of the insertion operator. Cout makes use of the insertion operator. Cin makes use of the extraction operator. So the reverse of it, greater than. Cin makes use of the extraction operator. So suppose I'll just prompt the user. Maybe I'm declaring another variable here. I'll just prompt the user, enter the value of Y. Okay, this is the prompt which I'm giving the user. For giving the prompt, I need to use cout. For reading, I make use of cin. So cin is console in. It's going to read from the keyboard into the system. Okay, so this cin uses the extraction. This is called the extraction operator. So I simply say cin Y. Okay, if I say cin Y, it will read the value of Y, and then I will print the value, say. Okay, or rather than printing, let me do one thing. Let me add X to Y. I can do that. I can write this expression directly, X plus Y. If I write x plus y, both are integers, it's valid, right? I can add two integers. I can write x plus y, this expression here. So I'm printing out the sum of x and y. So what is my program doing? It is having x, which is already defined in the program. The value is assigned. Y you are reading from the user, and you're printing the value of x and y. Now x plus y, the sum of x plus y. So for printing, before printing, just let me leave a new line, and here also let me leave a new line. So I'll put a new line here. Are you getting it? See, because after intro there's no new line which I've put. So I put new line here or here. I have to just take care. Wherever I'm putting a prompt, I put a new line before it. Okay. See out x plus y. So here also, here the new line will come directly because here you're reading. So let us run this.
Ma'am, we'll have to declare y, no? Int y.
I have declared it. I've declared it. I've declared it here.
Okay.
Right? So I entered the value of y as 7 and I'm printing it out. The sum. X plus y, I'm printing it out. Okay. I can declare it anywhere. Huh? I can declare the variable anywhere. Wherever I require, declare the variable.
After the print statement also.
What?
But here we can
No,
define
no, 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 no. Before
string, no?
using, you have to declare it, of course. Of course.
Okay, ma'am.
So usually when I was writing C programs, I was declaring it in the beginning because the standard C had enforced to declare at the beginning, but in the later versions of C, actually you are allowed to declare it in between. Otherwise, the rule is for C, you have to declare the variables at the beginning of the scope. But in C++, that rule was removed when it was introduced. And that is why the later versions of C as well, they removed that rule. Variables can be declared anywhere in the scope, but they have to be declared before using the variable. So before use, you have to declare. Otherwise, it will throw you an error.
Okay, ma'am.
So now suppose instead of y, you want to read multiple variables. So I can have multiple scenes, that is one way, like multiple scanfs you wrote. But you could also write single scanf. Yes or no? You could write a single scanf. So here also I can write a single cin. So suppose I have a z also here. What I do is I put z here. Okay. Let me change the expression. So in a single scene, I am reading y as well as z. So I need to make use of multiple extraction operators. These are the extraction operators. I need to use them. Correct? I should have written enter y and z. Fine. So it has read both y and z, and it computed this expression x plus y minus z. So this is about C in. So C out and C in, that is input output is done. Okay. Now, what about the variables? What are the types of variables which are available in C++? So you have int, you have char, you have float, you have double. All these variable types, the types which are there in C are there in C++. Apart from these types, there are some other types which are added. One is a bool. Bool type, boolean, stands for boolean. So bool type is a true or false type. So if I say bool b equal to true, so it can take true or false. Okay, so true is a keyword. Again, true and false are keywords in C++. So if I say, if this is true, I can print something. So I can make use of if here. So if B is true, okay, then I'm printing this expression. Otherwise, I'm printing some other expression. Okay. Bool is used for conditions you can make use of bool type.
Flag variables also.
Flag variables you can use this. Okay. So since I have myself defined bool as true, it is solving this expression, right? 5 plus 4, 5 plus 3 minus 4, that is 8 minus 4, that is 4. Otherwise, if I set this to false, then it will run this expression. So the answer is 6, right? So this is one type which is introduced. Apart from this, there is something which is additional. It's an object like for strings, there is one library called string library. So let me do that here, or let me take a new. Okay, so it's a string library. So I will include the string library here. It's not string.h, it is string. So this string type that you will create will be present in this library. I'll tell you how to declare. It's an object actually of type string. It's not a data type as such. It is not a primitive data type. It is an object which is available in string. Okay. In many implementations, whatever is there, in many implementations that you find today, whatever is there inside the string is included in IOStream also. So sometimes some or most of the compilers, it will work without this hash include string. But you should not do that as a standard practice, because by default, as per the standard which is mentioned, it has to be in string. Whenever you're using string, you have to include string library. So please include string library and then proceed. Okay. Whatever I'm saying right now, all this you can find, you can read about this more. Okay, on the internet, there are a few links of tutorials which I will forward. Just go through that. You can revise the basics, because these basics are very important, because now we have to switch from C to C++. So you cannot keep on using hash include stdio.h. You have to use hash includes IOStream. So it will take some time, like, to get into the correct frame of mind for you, because you're switching to C++. Okay. So these subtle differences are there. You have to practice this. Simple programs you can practice. So what I do is string. I say string, and I create an object of this type. So I simply say type, data type, and the same, similar to how I create a variable. It's similar to that. The type followed by the variable name. So I say string str. Okay. Then I can read this str using which operator, which object. How to read? Cin. Cin, right? So I say cin str. Okay. Just to make it friendly, I can say cout. Right? Okay, let me print it out. For printing, it will be CR or cout str. Okay, let me run it again. What happened? What happened?
Ma'am, the string terminated after the white space.
Correct.
Blank spaces were not included.
Correct. So this will not work if the string has spaces. So if the string has spaces, C++ provides you with a special function called getLine. Okay, so there's a function getLine which you have to use if your string contains spaces. So I simply say getLine, instead of cin, I will have to use a function getLine. In getLine, you have to mention cin. The getLine takes cin as the first argument from where you are reading. Okay, and the string, the name of the variable as a second argument. So two arguments are there. Cin will be because you're going to read from the keyboard, that cin has to be passed, and into which variable you want to read. So str is the variable into which you want to read. So this is the function that you have to use, getLine, cin followed by the variable name. Okay, so I'll comment this. So now since I have used getLine, my string with spaces is accepted. Okay, now what if I have to, I'll just show a few basic operations, rest all we can see. Wait, someone is asking some question or something? No. Okay, so yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I did not understand this part of getLine.
Okay, getLine is a function which allows you to read a string with spaces, because cin does not allow you to read a string with spaces. So getLine is a function which is provided to you by IOStream. So getLine takes two arguments. First is cin, because you are reading from the console, you are reading from the keyboard. If you are reading from the file, it will be something else. So getLine can be used to read from file, but it is something else. Okay, so now you are reading from the keyboard. So first argument has to be from where you are going to read. That device you have to mention. So that is cin. Cin will represent that you are reading from the keyboard. Okay. Second argument is that you are going to read where you are going to read, where you are going to save it, in which variable you are going to save this, whatever is entered through the keyboard, into str. Right. So second argument is the variable into which you are going to read. So two arguments it takes. First is cin, because you are reading from the keyboard. Second is str, where you are reading, into which variable you want to save this data. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. It is clear, ma'am.
So once you write this, your string, you don't need to use cin now. Cin is gone because cin is not accepting string with spaces. Instead of cin, you are using getLine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now your program will be able to read a string with spaces.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just notice one more thing. I have not mentioned the size of the string anywhere. Right? I have not mentioned the size of a string, so I don't need to mention the size of a string like I create an array. Like earlier in C, I used to create a character array. Am I allowed to create a character array in C++? Yes, because char type is there. I can create an array of characters. But C++ also provides you with this special string object because it becomes easy for you to manipulate things. It goes into the object oriented aspect of things. Okay. So now, apart from this, I can find out the size of the string. To find out the size of the string, there is one method. There is a method. What is that method? There are two methods which are available. One is length and one is size. Do you recollect yesterday I mentioned about methods?
Yes, ma'am.
Method is a function, nothing but a function which is tied to an object. It is a function of the class, of a class, right? So method, whenever you're using method, you need to make use of the dot operator to call it. You need to make use of the dot operator to call it. Along with the dot operator, you need to make use of the object name. So the syntax for calling a function, what is the syntax for calling a function? It's simply like this. This is a function, right? Getline is a function. I have not used anything else. This is the way I call a C function, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Getline C function is like called like in this fashion. I simply pass the arguments. Okay. Now, how do I call a method? To call a method, I need to use an object name. The object name. What is the object whose size I want to find? It is str, string object. Str is an object of type string. Str, I use dot and I use a method name. Method name is size. Okay. So I say cout length of the string is str dot size. So length is 9. So it is giving you the exact size of the string, yes or no? There are 9 characters in the string. So str, what is the statement that I have written? Str dot size. So this returns, this method returns the length of the string. Okay. There is one more method called length. It works the same way. It is an alias of the method size. Both work the same way. So instead of size, what I can do? I can use length. It is not, I think it is not recognized by this compiler. Let us see whether it works. It is working, yeah. It is not highlighting for some reason. Okay. So size and length will give you the length of the string. Okay. Now one more thing is about concatenation. If you want to concatenate two strings, in case of C, you made use of some function. Do you remember what function you use for concatenating two strings?
STR.
STRCAT.
Yes, very good. Yeah, strcat. So now here what we do, we make use of a simple operator, that is the plus operator. So suppose I have one more string str1. Okay. I say I can initialize the string here itself. I say this str1 is hello. Okay. I want to concatenate str1 with str. Okay. So what I will do is I will simply make use of the plus operator. So the expression will be str1 plus str. So this plus operator stands for concatenation. it will simply concatenate the two strings. If I want to leave a space now in between hello and that string, what will I do? I will say hello plus space plus str. Okay. And let me print it out. For printing also, let me, okay, use a new line. So I am writing C++ here, it will print hello C++, right? So it has printed hello C++. I entered C++, I have written the expression str1 plus space str. So str1 was hello, str which I entered was C++. So the expression that is formed is hello C++. So it has concatenated. So this plus operator which is there, it is used as an arithmetic operator also. It is used as with numbers. With numbers, it is used as an arithmetic operators. But with strings, it is used as a concatenation operator. Okay. So this is for concatenating strings. So there are many other methods also which are available, but this is just one method which I have shown, that is size and length. There are other methods which are available. You can go through those, or whenever we come across such programs, we will make use of those methods where strings are involved. Apart from that, one more thing I want you to know about strings is, if you want to access the individual characters of the strings, you can use the same thing that you use for array indexing. So you treat it as an array of characters and you access it using the index number. So for example, if I want to access str1's this character, what index should I write? What should be the expression? str1 of. What is the index of this character?
2.
2. It's 0 indexing only, it starts from 0. Okay, so I can print this out. So if I print this out, what should print? L should print out. So it is printing out L. I have not used any new line, but you notice here. Can you see? It is printing out L.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I can also modify it. I say str1 of 2 is equal to T. Okay. And now I run it. What should happen? Wait. Sorry. Just a minute, why it is not modifying? Conversion from char star to. Okay. I'll come back to this in tomorrow's lecture. Okay, I'll just check why it is not modifying. I'll let you know in tomorrow's lecture. So we'll come back to this and continue with this. And I will introduce about objects tomorrow, classes and objects tomorrow. Apart from that, if anything else, something else also is remaining, that is a reference type. In C you have pointers. In C++ also you have pointers, but there is a special concept of a reference variable, okay, which is there in C++, which was not there in C. So that is also something which is additional, which is added in C++. Okay, so I'll come back to this in tomorrow's lecture.
Ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, there are different versions in the online GD